Okay, we're going to talk about the standard algorithm for long division. The problem we're going to work on is 260 divided by 5, and we're going to use Does McDonald's sell cheeseburger strategy. If you look at the strategy, what we're going to do is we're going to put a check mark as we go through each step. And since our dividend has 3 digits in there, we're going to go through each one of the digits, go through the steps for each one of the digits. So we're going to go through the Does McDonald's sell cheeseburger 3 times. So the first step is to divide. So we're going to see how many times 5 will go into 2. 2 divided by 5. And since 5 is larger than 2, it will not go into 5, so that's 0 times. And we'll go ahead and do the next step, which is multiply. We'll put a mark by multiply. And just keep in mind, most students struggle with they can remember the Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers, but they don't know what digits to use when they're going through the steps or what numbers to go through when they're using the steps. And we'll just go ahead and remind them. We're going to use the answer from our last step. So since we divided last, and when we divided we got the answer 0, we're going to use that 0 when we multiply. And most of the steps, we're also going to use the divisor. So we use the divisor when we divide, we use the divisor when we multiply, and we use the divisor when we compare. And the other steps are kind of line up pretty easy, so most students don't struggle with that. But just remind them that when you're trying to figure out what numbers to use for the steps, use the answer from your last step, and usually you're going to use the divisor. So since we're multiplying, 0 is our answer when we divide it, so we're going to multiply 0 times 5, and 0 times 5 is 0. Our next step is subtract, and since that lines up real well right there, we're going to go ahead and subtract. And another thing to remember too, a lot of times students mess up with where do I put my answer when I divide and where do I put my answer when I multiply. When you divide, the answer is going to go up top, and when you multiply, the answer goes on the bottom. And it's kind of easy to remember because when we're doing our long division, our answer ends up top. The answer to our division problem ends up top. So we're going to always write our division step on top, our multiply step on the bottom. So the next thing we're going to do is subtract, and when we subtract 2 minus 0, we get 2. Our next step is compare. Sometimes people like to call it check, but I go ahead and say compare because we're going to check at the end. So and what we're comparing is our difference when we subtracted, the answer when we subtracted, to our divisor. And what we're looking for, we want to make sure our difference is less than our divisor. If it's the same or greater, that means we made a mistake, and we start back over the division step for that digit. And our last step is to bring down. So we're going to bring down the next digit in our dividend there, which is 6. And we start our steps back over again. So we're going up to divide. And this is where most students struggle, is trying to figure out, what am I going to divide now? Okay, we're going to divide the answer to our last step, which was bring down. And when we brought down, we got 26. So we're going to divide 26 by 5. And 26 divided by 5 is 5. Next step is to multiply. And we're going to multiply the answer from our last step, which was 5. And we're going to multiply it by our divisor, which is 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. Our next step is subtract. We're going to subtract 26 from 25, and we get 1. Our next step is to compare, and our 1 is less than 5, so we're good. And our next step is to bring down. We're going to bring down a 0, our next digit in our dividend. So we're going to divide 10 divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Our next step is to multiply. We're going to multiply 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. We're going to subtract now. 10 minus 10 is 0. Then we're going to compare. 0 is less than 5. And our last step is to bring down. And since we don't have anything else to bring down, that means we've got our answer. And but we still have to do one more thing. We have to check it. And to check division, we're going to multiply our quotient, or our answer, times our divisor. So we're going to multiply 52 times 5. We know 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 1 up here is 26. And if our product right there matches our dividend, that means we did it right. So 260 divided by 5 is 52, and we checked it to prove that it was right.